Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another manga review. And today we are going to be taking a look at Mashima Heroes from Hero Mashima. And this is a crossover between his three big series, Rave Master, Fairy Tail, and Eden Zero. And I have to say, man, this was absolutely fantastic. If you're a fan of at least one of these series, I think you'll appreciate this. But it definitely helps to know, what the characters are all about because of how they act in this. I mean, they definitely act the same way they do in their respective series. And it was just so cool seeing everyone appear and interact with each other, all the different Easter eggs and references and cameos from characters you wouldn't even expect, like lesser characters, and it's like, oh, that dude appeared, how awesome is that? So I very much enjoyed reading this series. If you've been following along with my channel, you know that I'm a huge Hero Mashima fan. I've read and reviewed the first 53 volumes of Fairy Tail, eagerly awaiting the release of box set number 6, which is supposedly releasing at the end of June, but who knows, it keeps getting delayed. And then I've been keeping up with Eden Zero as it releases. And, after reading this, I got to go and finally read Rave Master. I mean, I have the first 3 volumes, and actually the last 3 volumes in the omnibus, which I got a few months ago. And I want to collect it all physically, but the problem is they're just so damn expensive, so I'll have to read it all online or something. But after reading this, I'm very interested in the Rave Master characters. So, this is 10 chapters and released in the volume format here in 2020, I believe. That's what it says in the back anyway. And, I mean, just going back to Mashima, the absolute madman, as he was working on this was a monthly series, while Eden Zero was going on, a weekly series, and Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, a bi-weekly series. So, I don't know how the man rests. I mean, he has assistants and all, but still, the workload on this guy is incredible. But I'll show you this. I'm probably going to make this a thumbnail. These are all the characters from the respective series. In the middle, obviously, we have Shiki, Haru, and Natsu. Then over to the right, which is kind of interesting, like, Gray's over here. Well, he's actually with his buddies, because these guys all use sort of similar powers in their respective series. But that's Musica from Rave Master, Gray, and Weiss. And then we have Let and Julia. All the mascots. There's actually 2 mascots in Rave. There's Happy from Fairy Tail, of course, Pino from Eden Zero. And then Plo and Griff. And I gotta say, dude, Griff, the absolute man. Wait till we get to him. And then the ladies all over here, well, Carla, she's one of the mascots too, right? But Homura, Urza, Wendy, and then the 3 ladies, Rebecca, Ellie, and Lucy. So, good stuff, man. Let's get right to it. It starts as any good Mashima chapter or series or whatever would start. With Lucy without her top. Give me back my top. And not just like, I didn't take it. And Happy's got her bathing suit. Happy, give it back. So it starts just like you'd expect a Mashima series to start. And the Fairy Tail Guild is on vacation on this island. And Gray, of course, is not wearing any clothes. And it's just a beautiful thing. So Natsu's sense of smell is like, oh, there's something sweet over there. Look at this fruit. And he sees like this delicious looking fruit up there. Aha, I found it. And as he grabs it, you see another pair of hands, and it's Shiki. No, I got it first. I got it first. And they start fighting over the fruit. And, they find that Natsu's like super powerful, and he's using his fire magic. He's a fire dragon slayer. And Shiki's like, it's so hot, I'm on fire, what's going on? And then he uses his gravity ether gear to grab the piece of fruit. And they're just yelling about each other's magic. Natsu's like, you have some weird magic. No, it's gravity ether gear. Well, that's some kind of magic, I'll use my magic. So they're just going at each other, fighting over this piece of fruit. And then, all of a sudden, as they're just attacking each other, Rebecca shows up. Shiki, what's going on over there? Who's that guy? And whoa, here comes Rebecca. Did you make a new friend? Oh, man, look at her. But, basically, Shiki starts talking about how, they're from space or whatever. And Rebecca and Pino, we can't tell them about space. So they came here doing reconnaissance from space and landed on this island. And they're actually looking for Homura, who was looking for this place called the Oasis. And, she hasn't come back yet. And Rebecca starts describing Homura to Natsu. He's like, oh, I know who that is. It's Kagura. which is very similar. And there's a lot of jabs in here about like how people criticize Mashima with the same face and how he's a lousy writer and all that stuff. And it's funny to see like the third wall, or rather fourth wall breaking, right? Isn't that how you would word it? So, you know, if you read Eden Zero, Shiki's all about making friends, so they become best friends already. And that's that. And then it cuts back over here to this dude talking about the Oasis. And he has the source of creation with this this necklace here, which we later find out is a Darkbring, which that's like the main thing in Rave Master. Haru's on the quest to destroy the Darkbrings, because if an evil person gets a hold of them, they can use unlimited magic and cause all sorts of destruction. So this old dude is using the Darkbring for good. He's making like all these whatever those guys are to make everyone happy. I think this is a character from Rave Master. That's like an Easter egg. And as all that's going on, we see Haru, Ellie, Musica, Plu, and Griff. And they make their way over here, and it's the temple. We're going to destroy the Oasis. So it's cool to see all these characters. And what even is Griff, man? Plu, believe it or not, is a dog. I know he doesn't look like a dog, but they call him a dog. And Griff is like his right-hand man. So this is like the main trio from Rave Master. So Natsu takes Shiki and Rebecca back to the camp there and introduces them to everyone. And Happy says, "Aye, sir!" And it's like, "You have a cat named Happy too? What is going on?" And actually, the main difference with Fairy Tail's Happy to Eden Zero's Happy is they look identical, except for the tip of their tail. Fairy Tail's Happy has a white tip, and Eden Zero Happy has a black tail. So I think that's pretty funny. And they're just going around making friends, and it's just a lovely sight. So it cuts over here to the Oasis, where Homura is held captive. And of course, some more fan service. She basically went to the Oasis to try and train and got captured somehow. And as all this is going on, you know, she's in the cell and hears voices from the side of either side of her in the cell. And it's like, what's going on? And then it cuts to the two prisoners, and we have this dude, the Butt Jiggle Gang leader, Wonderful Gucci, and our friend Ichiya Vandalay Kotosuki from Fairy Tail. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Ichiya! I don't really know anything about the Butt Jiggle Gang, but maybe they're comparable to Ichiya in Rave, and this dude is just I don't fucking know. I was dying seeing these characters, and Homer is just speechless. So Haru's on his way to go into the Oasis and just cuts his way through, and he has a sword called the 10 Commandments, which I believe, again, this is coming from someone who doesn't really know anything about Rave Master, can change into 10 different forms. Because you see, it looks sort of different. Like, can we see a maybe if we go over here? Yeah, see how it looks right there? And then it sort of changes a little bit. Explosion. So we can change it into different forms. And it changes again there. So, and then same thing with Musica. He's similar to Gray, except, you know, Gray can use ice make magic. He can use silver and turn that into weapons, and he turns it into a spear. And then Ellie has these things called the Tonfa Blasters. And they come running in, and Griffin, they found Griffin, and they're blaming him. And he says, "As cartographer, I had to go into a place labeled Women's Bath to complete my map. And I found a garden of flesh tones." Look at his face of his map. What is he doing, man? So they're all here, and Shiki wants to, or sorry, I'm calling this guy, this is Haru. He wants to grab the Darkbring and stop the Oasis. And then our friends Natsu and Shiki make their way to the Oasis, and they get ambushed by these two, Let Dahaka and Julia Dragoon from Rave Master. And Natsu remarks that they smell like dragons. So the two of them start fighting, and they're just doing all sorts of crazy moves, man. And then eventually Natsu reveals that he's a dragon slayer. And we learn that Let and Julia are part of the dragon race, which is pretty crazy. So there's some interesting stuff going on there. And what happens is this guy here, Shinra, grabs the Darkbring from his master and kills him and takes the Darkbring for his own so that he can rule the world. He says, I am the creator now. Ha, this is the power of creativity. And he seizes all control here and just destroys the place, and of course gets everyone all separated. And I just love these two characters. Like Griff just run around with his hands up the whole time and blow, boom, boom. You know, that's all he says because he can't speak. So as everything's being destroyed, these guys are getting attacked by the rubble. And then the recon team is looking for Natsu and Shiki. And now we have tentacle monsters attacking the ladies, of course. So Shinra with the Darkbring, because he kind of looks like a weakling, uses it to turn into more of a villain. And he becomes Genesis, and he looks just like Jalal. But interestingly enough, there's a character in every one of Mashima's series. There's Sightheart from Rave Master, there's Jalal, and then there's also Justice. And they all look very similar with the tattoo on the eye. So, funny that he's a villain. I'm pretty sure they all first... I know Jalal was a villain at first in Fairy Tail. And Justice kind of is a villain. I mean, he's supposedly a good guy because with the Orashel and Sace Interstellar. But he's had his run-in with Shiki in the past. So, we get some great fan service going on with the tentacle monsters. And Lucy and Rebecca both remark on how this has happened to them multiple times. And then Gray eventually, uses his ice magic to break free, freezes them and just breaks them. And then Lucy summons her celestial spirit Cancer to start cutting them all away. And as all this is going on too, like Peanut's eyes are just all lit up like, oh, it's magic, everything's so cool, summon the magic. So Peanut's just having a blast. And Urza can use her requipping to summon her armors and swords and stuff. And she gives a bow and arrow to Rebecca. So she starts firing away there. And then after all this is going on, I was going to call him Jet, Let and Julia agree to a truce to work with Natsu and Shiki because Genesis has summoned all these monsters using the Darkbring. And Homer has formed an alliance with Ichiya and, what's his name? Wonderful Gucci? From the butt jiggle gang, and he's trying to untie her restraints of his ass. Like, what the fuck? And then Ichiya uses his perfume of strength. Men! And then his whole thing is, you're a scoundrel, we're true scoundrels. Like, they have all their crazy catchphrases. And then these dudes show up, the other butt jiggle gang members, Lackey A and Lackey B. And then Moscow shows up, must jiggle. What the fuck, dude? And then him and Ichi are having a moment. Mos men. And mos men. And their best friends just dance. What the hell is going on, dude? Oh my god. I was really laughing my ass off as I was reading this. So, Genesis is continuing to wreak havoc, and the Rave group has been separated. Haru is with Plo, and Musica is with Ellie. And I guess Griff is with them too. So they start fighting all the monsters. And then all our heroes meet up. We have Natsu, Haru, and Shiki all together. Can we be friends? So then Julia and Let converge with Natsu's group, along with Rebecca and Pino. And Plo. And they all start talking about what they're going to do. They got to stop Genesis and reunite with their friends. And then, Genesis shows up and Haru's like, is it Sig Jalal? Who is this guy? So Haru says, all right, boys, let's fight him. I'm all fired up. So they get all their stuff. I love how Natsu, too. He's got his scarf as like a bandana because he's on vacation at the beach. But they all start charging in to fight him. But they can't do much, They're using all their techniques, and Genesis is just too powerful. He's got the Darkbring, and he basically controls the creative mind in a certain sense. So then it cuts over here to all these characters as they continue to hold off the enemies. And again, we get this funny scene. So yeah, here's where they talk about, because Wendy had used the Sky Dragon Roar. And he's like, what, you breathe wind? And they say that she's a dragon slayer. A dragon slayer? Because the two of them are part of the dragon race. And I think they can transform into dragons or something like that. And then again with Griff, dude. So Ellie's been fighting all these monsters. You see she's looking very fatigued and sweating. And Griff says, what's the matter, Miss Ellie? Do your breasts hurt? If you like, I can massage. What the fuck, dude? Look at him huffing his hands, man. What is this guy doing? So they're ready to attack Haru. And just as he's holding them, you know, Shiki and Natsu try to attack Genesis on either side, but he just disappears and the two of them punch each other. You want a piece of me? Yeah! And they start bickering with each other and they punch Haru. And then they see that he's creating this castle now. A terrace! My castle of imagination is complete! I'm going to rule the world! Oh, ho, ho. So then they all start talking about how they gotta go their separate ways because Shiki has to find Homura, Natsu has to find the rest of Fairy Tail, and then Haru's like, I don't need your guys' help anyway, forget it! So Rebecca and Lucy are looking for their men, and Ellie shows up. And they start talking about all their boys. I'm looking for a guy with spiky silver hair. Well, I'm looking for a guy with spiky pink hair. Well, spiky black hair for me. And then this is where everyone else meets, all the doppelgangers. You know, Musica meets Gray. And then he runs into Weiss. And Weiss is like, oh, the search party got lost. Now I gotta find the party searching for the search party. These guys are useless. So they meet Weiss. And then Homura converges the badass babes with Urza and Julia. And Julia remarks of how powerful they all are. And then she says, well, maybe I should take my clothes off too, since you're all battling naked. So that's some good stuff. And I just love all the team-ups we have going on too. Again, with all the characters, the sort of doppelgangers of each characters. And then over here with Let, who I guess is sort of like the odd man out, teaming up with Wendy, Pino, and Carla. And then here's what I'm talking about with the cameos. So at the Fairy Tail Guild, all these monsters that made their way over there. And we have the Strauss family, Elfman, Mira Jane, and Lasana fending them off. We have Julia, or sorry, I'm getting all the names fucked up. Juvia. There's so many characters here, excuse me. They would deliberately attack while Grace Sama's away. Kana, Loxus, the whole gang's there. And then it cuts over to some more Rave Master characters. And they say, what in the world are these monsters? Does this mean Haru and the others failed? Oh no, Polio! Oh no, Polio! So who are these guys? I don't know, man, but they look pretty cool. So again, this just makes me want to read Rave Master some more. So all the bros here are remarking at how cool all their techniques are. And Weiss concocts this secret weapon called the Heroes. And everyone's fighting. And again... Lucy finds herself in this predicament, and now the tentacle monster is trying to take her top off again. And as the monster takes her top off, Natsu, just in time. Happy, nice save, Natsu. Look at her blushing so hard. That was so close, Lucy. And Lucy's telling Natsu to let go, and he's ready to let go. And then Haru shows up, and she throws her weapons in his eyes. Now looking! And then Shiki shows up and buries his face in Rebecca's butt. Oh my god, man. Dude, look at Haru's face. What is going on here? Look at them all. Just do something about the monsters already! So they all regroup and fight all the monsters, and just some good stuff. So, they're all remarking on everyone's outfits, and Haru even says, look at this. You girls, the way you're dressed is way too provocative for Haru. And then he remarks how Ellie used to dance in a getup that's practically a bikini, so... Oh, some good stuff. And then they all reunite again. We have this bromance between Moscow and Ichiya. And they get ready to fight this asshole Genesis with all his monsters. So they start talking about how they need to destroy the Darkbring, and then we get a transmission from Hermit and the other Shining Stars and the other Happy, who's like, there's another me? What's another me doing over there? We'll send them packing. It's time to work together. If anybody can do it, we can. Yeah! We get a great shot of everyone all ready to go. I love Happy's face. Happy and Carla. And again, my boy Griff here. So they're ready to fight. Fight all the monsters. And again, it's cool to see all the different team outs with all the ladies there. All the dudes. Weiss with his Machina Maker. His machine gun that he has built. We got Let and Wendy, Ichiya and Moscow, and then all the ladies. So, you know, Haru's using all his different swords, and they're using their ultimate attacks here. And then they see actually that Genesis is using the Jalal type moves like Sema, and he uses Grand Chariot and Meteor earlier as well. So, you know, he's got all the same moves that Jalal uses. I wonder if Sighart used those moves too in Rave Master. But yeah, then we get a cool moment too with Ellie, like, our heroes are fighting, so let's keep going. Yeah, and they're all running to find their heroes. So they make their way to the Oasis to find the old man from earlier, and you know, he basically has concocted all these memories, and he says, I am Mashimiri, the god of creation, which is kind of like a parody of Mashima. And like what he says later, it's sort of like Mashima in the fourth wall. So I thought this was funny too, that the Temple of Manga. So basically the guy wrote, Tyre, look at this. This is like a self-insert of Mashima. And yet I continued to draw. Day after day I drew. There was no stopping the creativity that overflowed within me. I continued to imagine until eventually my memories began to fail me. I had written so many stories, so many characters, I no longer knew which memories were mine and which were others. And he became the god of creation. So the whole island is Oasis. And they have to destroy the island. And the Butt Jiggle Gang shows up again. And before that, the god of creation here says, you all have such huge racks. Oh my god. And, you know, the Butt Jiggle Gang has kidnapped Plo. But they find out that Plo is the key to it all. They need to use Plo to destroy the Darkbring. So she grabs him and throws him into the friggin' island. And basically, if he destroys the island, they got to give Plo all their magic energy. And Rebecca's like, I don't have any magic. Well, there's something like that in you, so it'll work. And they all channel her magic as the bros are continuing to fend off Genesis, and the ladies are harnessing all the magic. They get one last ultimate attack there and break the Darkbring. And all thanks to Plo. Our heroes did it! So with that, all those monsters are disappearing, and our friend Griff remarks, all thanks to Master Plo! And then we see the celebration from all around the lands, and Fairy Tail and Rave. Well done, Haru. Makarov, Gagio, and all them. And then back on the Eden Zero. And then Ellie and Haru hug each other. I'm so glad you're okay. Are those two a couple? And of course, all the ships get back together here. You know, I think the Haru-Ellie thing is legit, though. At the end of Rave Master, they got together. And Urza remarks that Pino looks like a bunny and starts hugging her. And then Griff says, Miss Urza, the truth is, I am a bunny as well. Please hold me in your ample bosom. And then Weiss, I'm a bunny too then. Oh my god. So this was just fantastic. And then the creator disappears. And everyone goes their separate ways. And then we get these little shots here, which are all images from the different mangas, because you can tell from the art styles. Like, that's obviously, you can tell Mashima's artwork has improved over the years. Like, that's Haru from way back when, and that's him now. And they all depart. Beautiful scene of everyone disappearing. But there's been a time rift, it seems, because we have the Butt Jiggle Gang in the Cosmos. We have Ichiya on the Symphonia continent. And then we have Moscow at the Moskoy Guild. And then it ends with Mashima. Teehee, that lousy third-rate author. And Mashima remarks, I wish it was a little longer. But this is fantastic, man. I had so much fun reading this. I know this review was just kind of me going through it again with my comments, but that's how I do all my reviews. So this one kind of long, didn't it? 25 minutes. But yeah, I very much enjoyed it. I'd love, there's been all this talk for you know, a while now about them adapting this into like an OVA or a movie or something. I'd be totally down for that. But yeah, so cool. And this just makes me want to read Rave Master even more, because just seeing how all the characters act and all. And just a lot of fun. So I highly recommend this if you're a Hiro Mashima fan. And even if you're not, I think you'll still have a good time with this. But it definitely helps to like understand the characters' personalities before going into it. But yeah, it's just cool seeing everyone together there and all that good stuff. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. And stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Have a great day, guys.